Good.
The animated Anarchy series presents the animated Hour of Power.
Well, it's good to know that I hit the right intro. So at least we're off on the right foot there. This is the Animated Hour of Power, episode 27, the last animated hour of power for stage 2 of the Animated Anarchy series here on the When Tunes Combined YouTube channel.
Yep.
Of course, I'm your host, Dutchy, joined as always by Money E.
What's up?
All right. Sean is here.
What's up?
All right. He doesn't like to be on camera anymore because he's now fully decided to become a nudist, and we get
Very freeing. It's a free life.
Yeah. Wildcard Dave is with us. Of course, Wildcard Dave also living that same lifestyle. He convinced Sean, just like he always convinces Eric, to change his vote.
How we doing, everybody?
Yeah. So basically, let that mental picture build up. Unless, there are kids watching the show, and then just ignore everything I just said. All right.
And it's Valentine's Day.
Huh?
And it's Valentine's Day. Nope.
Yeah. Yeah. You know what I just realized? I haven't set the stuff up for the randomizer.
Oh.
I was so focused on what's going on because my phone's been acting up that it's just like, oh yeah, we have to run the randomizer and it's not ready to go yet.
Wow.
Well,
Let him hear about it, chat, in the comments.
yeah. Give them something else to complain about. But at least this will actually be legit. All right, but tonight's battles here for the Animated Anarchy series, we're going to see Bastard Heavy Metal Dark Fantasy take on The New Gate. We're also going to see SEKIRI take on Attack on Titan. Fire Force takes on Dan to Dan, and Pinky and the Brain in the main event is going to take on DINOSAUCERS. Now, there's going to be, obviously, there's some stakes. If SEKIRI or Attack on Titan sweep one another, then they're going to be in that upper echelon. If DINOSAUCERS get swept by Pinky and the Brain, they're going to be in the bottom of the barrel. Dan to Dan has the opportunity to be in the upper echelon if they sweep Fire Force. So it's a little more to, a little bit on the line here tonight. Of course, after we get done with the show tonight and get done recording Wednesday's show, we're going to go ahead and Eric's going to go ahead and do the math. I'm going to send him all the information, provided my phone is
ready for next Saturday.
Yeah. And then we're going to find out who's going to be up at the top of the leaderboard. I'm also working on tier list rankings right now, where I'm ranking all the shows in different tiers. And I got to say this because I'm ranking them by points. And I'm at the point where I have, I'm getting to the point to where I'm starting to rank the shows that have no points right now. And some of the shows that are in the bottom tiers right now because of their points, it just goes to show, and no disrespect intent, but that just goes to show how stupid we really are because of some of the shows that are in those bottom tiers.
Right.
I'll say it again. It's categories.
Yeah. Yeah. You say categories. The fan base says it's us.
I know.
But I'll blame the categories. I don't care.
Well, if the fans don't
If they
like it,
complain that much, then invite them to be a judge themselves.
I have. You know how many times I've tried to get rid of the three of you? Try to get them.
Funny, Doug.
Yeah.
You can't get rid of us. We're taking over.
Yeah. Well,
We're going to impeach you.
Where's the shield?
Calm down, Eric.
Might be the CEO. We're the board of directors.
yeah. Well, I still have power. All right. Can you guys see the screen?
Yep.
Yep.
All right, good. All right, here we go. Click.
What
All right.
Merch.
What we're dealing with. Well, Sean, your favorite category is at the bottom.
I like that. I like the enjoyment one. I think that's one of my favorite.
We get to start with overall enjoyment. I like that.
I bet
The
you do.
easiest one.
All right, so it's going to be overall enjoyment. It's going to be character development, voice acting, originality, and merch. So, how do we feel about that, Dave?
I'm okay with this. It's a little different than we normally get. I kind of like it.
Yeah.
No anime style. I wanted that.
Yeah, I always want that one.
We never get that anymore.
Well, starting for stage 3, we can try to make that happen, because if we get a category that you guys don't like, and this will start next Saturday, if we get a category you guys don't like, you can try to change it.
Right.
And how that'll work is if, say, we get merch and Sean says, well, I don't want to deal with that. So he'll try to change it, but at least one of you guys has to agree with him.
Yep.
So, Sean, I would recommend not making fun of Eric at least 3 hours, at least 3 hours before showtime.
That's hard to do.
Yeah. Well, he can be very vindictive. He can be very vindictive, and also if Dave says no, Eric, we have to keep this, he's going to listen to Dave over you.
That is true.
Yeah. So
Maybe.
yeah. All right. So
Maybe.
let's go ahead and let's get started. We got the New Gate versus Bastard Heavy Metal Dark Fantasy. The New Gate in the division of Gary Lutz. They are 0-1, negative 10 points. Bastard Heavy Metal Dark Fantasy 1-0. In the division of Kenneth Williams. I'm not necessarily sure what all the records are right now. My phone is off charging, and I don't feel like getting up and off camera every time to go check it. So we are going to another thing I wanted to talk about before we get started is when obviously Danielle doesn't want me to bring it up, but I'm going to anyway. She can't stop me. But when we get to the playoff rounds, the final round is going to be a triple threat match. So, like in wrestling, it's going to be the final 3 are going to go at it.
Okay.
Now, because there's 3 prizes involved. There's a first place, a second place, and a third place. The first place gets the $100 Amazon gift card. Second place will get the $25 Amazon gift card. Third place will get a t-shirt. It was going to be from NotSoSoul.com, but they changed how they do their shirts. So it'll probably be from 80s Tees. So The final will be a triple threat match. Now, how we're going to get to that is whoever is the number 1 seed at the end of the regular season is automatically going to go to the final. They don't have to worry about playoffs because I did all this math in my head and it hurt. So the second seed or the next highest seed will then have to go through at least a couple of rounds of matches, and then they will advance and they'll take up the second spot. And then the third spot will go to whoever wins single elimination tournament style with the remaining shows. So it's going to be very important to be the number 1 seed because you're going to get a little bit of time off.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So let's go ahead. Let's get started. The New Gate versus Bastard Heavy Metal Dark Fantasy. Sean, are you back?
Yeah, I just have to mute.
Yeah. All right. So first category is overall enjoyment. Dave, go ahead.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with the New Gate here. I just thought it was a little more traditional. I liked it a little better because the Bastard Heavy Metal Dark Fantasy, it was just a little loud and chaotic constantly. So I kind of enjoyed the New Gate a little more. There was more, the characters weren't as static to me as well. So that's another reason why I enjoyed it a little more as well.
Okay. All right. Sean?
I actually went with Metal Dark Fantasy. I enjoyed more of the dark style of that show more than Newgate.
Okay. All right, Eric, you're breaking a tie.
I went with Newgate. I just like this overall story better.
Well, already agreeing with Dave, I see.
Yeah. The check cleared from Dave.
He sent that $2 you made off of Twitch.
All right. The New Gate is up 1-0. 2 more and then they sweep. We move on to character development. Who had better character development, Eric?
Character development Newgate. I just like the overall character development there. I think there was more emotion, more story arc.
Okay. All right. Sean?
Yeah, I also went with Newgate. I think the stories are a lot better, and that really drives for better character development.
Okay. All right, Dave?
Yeah, I agree with these two. I thought New Gate, their main character had a lot of development. In Bastard, the Heavy Metal Dark Fantasy, like I said, their characters were pretty static. There wasn't a lot of growth. You've seen some emotional growth in there a little bit, but for the most part, most of the characters were static. In New Gate, they actually were character-driven moments, and so like I feel like Shin, he's a little overpowered and whatnot, but he's adjusting to the world and whatnot. So you see that throughout the series, and I thought they did a pretty good job with it.
All right. Newgate is up 2-0. 1 more and then they sweep. Voice acting is the next category. Who had better voice acting, Dave?
I'm going with Bastard Heavy Metal Dark Fantasy here. I thought they had very intense and like it was intense, kind of chaotic, but they also had like crazy tones that like you don't really hear in other shows. So because of their high octane energy and all that they got going on in there, I gave it to them.
All right. Sean?
I stuck with the Newgate. I think the voice actors really did a good job on the characters, which led to more like a better understanding of each character and a better like emotional range.
Okay. All right. Eric?
I went with Newgate too. I just preferred that. I think the voice acting was more crisp and a little better.
All right. Newgate is going to take it. They're going to sweep. So that's going to be 30 points for them. All right. We'll go ahead. We'll move on to the next battle, which is SEKIRI versus Attack on Titan. SEKIRI 1-0, 30 points in the division of Matt P. And Attack on Titan 1-0, 30 points in the division of Randy Marsh. Either one of them sweeps, they're going to be in that upper echelon. So they're going to be added to the perfection tier on my tier list. So, all right. Overall enjoyment is first. Sean, why don't you go ahead and start?
I went with SEKIRI for. Oh my god! I'm sorry. Just put me down for SEKIRI.
Gotcha. All right. Go ahead, Eric.
I went Attack on Titans. I just preferred that shit. I thought it was overall more enjoyable for me.
Okay. All right. Dave, you're breaking a tie.
This one was tough because I kind of enjoyed both. But I went with Attack on Titan here. I think the story and the characters keep you a little more locked into it, especially some of the scenes. Some of them can be gruesome and whatnot. And yeah, I find it kind of enjoyable that like some characters that you think are going to be main characters, get killed off or whatnot. I find that enjoyable on there as well. Sekirei, it just, it's a fighting type show, but with powers, but that's all it kind of basically was. The story is okay, but it's not over the top for me. So,
all right, Attack on Titan's going to win this. Not going to win this thing, but win the category. So they're up 1-0. We move on to character development. Eric, I'm going to start with you.
This was tough, but I thought it was closer than maybe they would do. But I think it's I picked Attack on Titans.
Okay. All right, Sean.
Yep.
Go ahead.
I went also with Attack on Titan. I just think SEKIRI is kind of one of those shows that I explained to is like what you see is what you get.
Yeah.
I mean, there's some development there, but I didn't notice much. But I've noticed a lot so far on Attack on Titan, and it's very consistent with in my opinion.
All right, Dave.
yeah, I'd have to agree with Sean. I picked Attack on Titan here. I just feel like you see massive growth in characters and also emotional growth in some characters. In Sekirei, you kind of just see them like power up. There's not really a huge development in their growth. It's very slow. But in Attack on Titan, you're kind of seeing it every episode. So you get to see that character evolve over time, and there's a lot of plot twists in there which give characters growth as well. And so that's the reason why I went with Attack on Titan.
All right, Attack on Titan's up 2-0. One more, and then they sweep. We're really going through these battles pretty quick. I guess it just means we all have to go pee. All right. We now move on to voice acting. Eric, start us off. Who had the better voice acting?
I think the Attack on Titans had better voice acting than Sekirei. Did I say that right?
Yeah. Sekirei.
Sekirei.
All right. Sean?
Yeah, I went with Attack on Titan. I think they're just more in tune to the type of show they are. Sekirei kind of just seemed like gets annoying.
Yeah.
To me, like the high pitch and just I don't know. It annoyed me a little bit. I enjoy the show, but it's probably for the same reasons Eric does. Cough on cough.
No wonder your wife's screaming at you. All
Sorry,
right.
no, that new medication makes me weird.
Yeah, well, that's all right. I'm just weird naturally. I don't need medication.
But we're all weird in our own way.
Yeah. But all right, Dave, go ahead.
Yeah, I went with Attack on Titan here. I just thought they killed it in both the Japanese and English dub. I thought they did really good emotional, dramatic performances. And I thought they did a fantastic job with that. And that's why I gave it to them.
All right. So they're going to go ahead. They're going to get a sweep. They're going to move into that upper echelon. They have 60 points. But luckily, because I'm doing a tier list and not power rankings, it's going to be easy to just put them into the tier. Power rankings, I'd have to readjust. So, now the next battle is going to be Fire Force versus Fire Force versus Dan to Dan. Fire Force 0-1, negative 10 points in the division of Dave's sister Allie. Dan to Dan 1-0, 30 points in the division of Blaine Zavala. So Dan to Dan has the opportunity to move into the upper echelon. Fire Force has the opportunity to fall off a cliff. All right. We start with overall enjoyment. Dave, your sister's involved, so we start with you.
Yeah, I'm going with Dan to Dan here. I just thought it was fast paced. It was consistently good with the animation. It was very enjoyable for me. And a lot of things are unexpected in the show. So that it makes it enjoyable for me as well.
All right. Eric?
Yeah, I went the opposite. I went with Fire Force. I just enjoyed that. Just had more a little better.
Okay. Sean, guess what?
Oh, I'm okay. I went with Dan to Dan on this one. I just like the premise of the show more. I think Fire Force was a little too much, and it kind of was a little confusing at times of what was really going on. But at the same time, I also sat there and been like, you know what, this kind of seems like you can call what's about to happen in that show, and Dan to Dan has a little bit more of a suspense factor into it.
Yeah.
So I enjoyed that more.
All right. Dan to Dan is up 1-0. 2 more and then they sweep. Character development is up next. Sean, you're going to start this one.
Ooh. I stuck with Dan to Dan. I just think they carry a slight edge from what I've watched so far. Obviously, I haven't watched like the entire series, but as of what I saw right now, I have to go with Dan to Dan.
All right. Dave, go ahead.
Yeah, I went with Dan to Dan here as well. I just feel like you get a lot of deep personal growth with Momo and Okarun. And then you got a lot of like emotional connections between characters, and you see the evolving bonds and personal relationships evolve as well. So that's the reason why I went with them.
All right. Eric?
Sweep it. I agree with these boys.
All right. Dan to Dan is up 2-0. One more, and then they sweep. We move on to voice acting. Who had the better voice acting, Eric?
I went with Dan to Dan. Yeah, I went with Dan to Dan. I thought it was more. Yeah, I thought it was better.
All right. Dave?
Yeah, I went with Dan to Dan here as well. The dialogue was a little more fast paced. It had a little comedic value into it as well. Also, the English dub I think was higher quality voice acting as well. So for me, for the voice acting, when you're talking about anime, you got the Japanese and English dub, so you got to do good in both for me. And ultimately, I think Dan to Dan did better in both.
All right, Sean.
Yeah, I'm sticking to Dan too. I think just the actors did a great job with the premise of the show and who their characters are supposed to be.
All right, they get the sweep. They move to 2-0 and 60 points, so they're going to be in that upper echelon. Fire Force, of course, loses another 10 points, so they're in negative 20. All right, we're just kind of blowing through it here. It just goes to show we're excited to get to Stage 3 next week. All right. The main event, it's Pinky and the Brain, 1-0, 20 points in the division of Nick Cosmo, taking on DINOSAUCERS, 0-1, negative 10 points in the division of Kathy Bianco. If DINOSAUCERS get swept here, then they will they will drop down to that bottom of the barrel territory. We start with overall enjoyment. Which show did you enjoy more, Sean?
Pinky and the Brain, hands down. That show is great. It's funny. Got a decent storyline. The chemistry between the characters is great. And, DINOSAUCERS is just hard to pronounce, apparently. So I don't like it.
Yeah. All right. Well, fair enough. All right, Dave.
Yeah, I went with Pinky and the Brain here as well. It just had more comedic value to it, which I enjoyed. Also, like Sean alluded to, the story is pretty good with it as well, and the character interaction between them.
All right, Eric.
Yeah, I sweep it. I like Pinky and the Brain better. Better overall story and just better characters.
All right, 1-0, or they're 1-0 here. They get 2 more, and then they sweep. So we move on to character development. Eric, who had the better character development here?
Pinky and the Brain. As I said just now, the better story, so and better characters, so I thought the development was better.
All right, Dave, go ahead.
Yeah, I also went with Pinky and the Brain here. I just thought you seen more through like the character motivations, through their actions, their failures, and stuff like that. You see some deep character-driven moments in there as well. And Dinosaurs, I just feel like the characters were unchanging in there. They were the role that they were, and that's what they stuck to, and they didn't really change at all. So therefore, I had to go with Pinky and the Brain here.
Okay. All right, Sean.
Yeah, Pinky and the Brain all day long. Pretty much the same reasons Dave just mentioned. Like Dinosaur Saucers is another one where you see what you get, and they never really change.
Right.
Yep.
Pinky and the Brain could be like considered the same way, but at least there's some slight differential in the character's development throughout the story. Like not the story, but throughout like one of the episodes.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I do. Yep.
All right. Pinky and the Brain is up 2-0. One more, and then they sweep. Voice acting is the next category. Sean, who did the voice acting better?
Pinky and the Brain. I just think they nailed the hiring process to a T to get, the people they wanted. They got like a serious, almost kind of sinister sounding guy for the Brain, and then Pinky was like the quirky, and those two, like Rob and Maurice, nailed that role to perfection, in my opinion.
All right. Eric, go ahead.
Yeah, I went Pinky and the Brain too. From what I read, the voice actors are more well known too. Let's see. Pinky was played by Rob Paulson.
Yeah.
Austin.
Yep.
Did I say that right?
Yeah, you did. So, all right, Dave.
Yeah, I went with Pinky and the Brain here as well. Thought they had a far better star-studded cast. So for that reason, I gave it to them.
Wow, this is the first time all the matchups are swept. Sweeps.
Yeah. Well, show wasn't that
This
hard.
was our shortest show.
Yeah. All right. Pinky and the Brain's going to win it 3-0. They're going to get 30 points. DINOSAUCERS is going to lose another 10. They're going to move to -20. So, all right. So next Saturday, we move on to stage 3 for the Animated Anarchy series. So I'll get to what those matches are going to be next Saturday in a minute because I got to walk over to my phone and read them. But Wednesday night or Wednesday afternoon, I should say, here's what we got. And this is going to finish up stage 2. We're going to have Helsing Ultimate take on Ace of the Diamond. Magi Adventures of Sinbad takes on Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood. Black Lagoon takes on Inuyasha. Mr. Bean, the animated series, takes on American Dad. And My Hero Academia in the main event takes on Neon Genesis Evangelion. Now, coming up on Wednesday's show, or on next Saturday's show, Animated Hour Power episode 28, Jackie Chan Adventures takes on Gravity Falls. Assassination Classroom takes on Ninja Kamui. Schoolhouse Rock takes on the Bugs Bunny Show. And the main event is going to be a show of undefeateds with perfect records. Dexter's Laboratory takes on Mighty Ducks, the animated series.
Okay.
Ooh.
So
I like that matchup. That's gonna
somebody's
be good.
not going to be perfect after this one.
Nope.
Or they both might not be perfect after this one unless one sweeps.
True.
So, all right. So go ahead and make sure to like and subscribe to the When Tunes Combine YouTube channel. Join the Facebook group, facebook.com/group/When Tunes Combine. Make sure to like and subscribe to the Wrestling Through the Years YouTube channel. This Friday night, 6:30 p.m. Eastern Time, we're going to talk No Mercy 2002. Make sure to find Eric and subscribe to the Unscripted Sports Show. You'll find Dave on Twitch at TCXGodsend95. You'll find Sean on at TCAX Reaper on Twitch, TikTok, YouTube, and Kick. Also, like and subscribe to the Dizzle97 YouTube channel. I'm sure he'll start putting content back on there soon. And the Stabcast with Dangle and Mindy. And we'll see everybody for the conclusion of stage 2 of the Animated Anarchy series Wednesday afternoon. So have a good night, everybody.